This made Ayaka think that if they were to get better equipment, then it would likely last longer than what they currently had on. Hearing movement nearby, Ayaka turned her head. When her eyes landed on the horns, she grinned. I guess I'll be able to get my hands on more horned rabbits. Grabbing her naginata, Ayaka slowly walked over to the monsters, waiting to attack her. Her eyes counted the number of horns. It looks like there are 6 of them. Though Ayaka felt confident about handling the larger group, there was still a sense of caution that she didn't abandon in her mind. With practiced movement, the blade of a weapon was placed in front of her. As if to answer her movement, a rabbit flew out of the tall grass towards her. In one smooth motion, Ayaka turned the bladed side and stepped slightly to the side. She then lifted it at the rabbit and allowed the monster's momentum to slice into its own body. Not even pausing for a moment, Ayaka rushed towards where the other rabbits were located. Twirling the pole of the naginata, the butt of her weapon was used to knock aside another horned rabbit. With the amount of force and speed built up in the action, a significant crack was heard. Like a whirlwind, the weapon spun as she continued forward. This time, one of the rabbits barely had time to leap at her before Ayaka stabbed her blade into its body. After having experienced numerous encounters, she made sure to continue moving in order to not become an easier target. Her hair whipped through the air as Ayaka twirled about, a cyclone of death. Breathing heavily, Ayaka rested the butt of the pole into the ground, using it to stabilize her. Slowly, I'm getting better and taking less time. She grinned at the results of the encounter, her eyes looking at the monsters that had been slain. Thudding noises were heard behind her. Ayaka turned to see Mizuki near the cart, having tossed 2 of the bodies to cause the sound. 2 groups this time? Mizuki grinned happily. How many was it? She looked curious, trying to count the rabbits. Just 6, Ayaka smiled. Slyly grinning, Mizuki said, Just 6? When did you get so confident? She giggled at Ayaka's words, laughing at her friend's teasing. I mean, with how many we've encountered, I would hope that I'd improve. Improved enough to take on a night wolf? Mizuki grinned. Holding her hand, Ayaka shook her head. Don't get too crazy. Just because I'm able to handle these things doesn't mean that I'm suicidal. Not even if the others were with us would I want to take on night wolves. Mizuki laughed at Ayaka's words before going back to gather the other rabbits. Checking out the ones near her, Ayaka bent down to grab a few. She walked over to the cart, appreciating how considerate the monsters were to show up so close to the cart, so she wouldn't have to walk so far, unlike Mizuki. Loading the rabbits in her hand into the cart, she made her way back to grab the others. Quickly gathering the other rabbits and putting them with the others, Ayaka wiped her hands on her armor. I'm going to need to ask Darlina if we can get our armors washed with how much blood is on them. She was partially happy that she was used to the smell now, though if it was back when she was in school, Ayaka would run away from anyone that smelled like she did at the moment. It was surprising how quickly people adapted to new environments. Meeting up with Mizuki, Ayaka asked, You okay if I take the lead? Due to the fact that she had encountered a group at the same time that Mizuki had, it ruined their current situation of switching between them of who pushed the cart. I'm good with that. I mean, it's unlikely that we'll run into another situation again. Mizuki said, Not like I wouldn't mind if we did.